How's it going, guys? It's Mouseball, and this is the AttackMouse Nation and my salty gearheads. Welcome to Motoring with Mouseball. And guys, we're back with Mouseball at Lookout Point, and I'm waiting for the sun to drop all the way down and for it to get very dark so that way you can see this awesome effect on Mouseball. Now, guys, I'm actually going to leave and pick up Mama Mouse and take her to dinner, which is a Sunday tradition. Considering that she has two of her own cars, well, she prefers to ride in Mouseball on Sundays. And that's one of the best reasons why I bring her to this place, is because me and her love to go here first before we actually go to dinner. So when I pick her up, we're going to actually spend a little bit of time here, and then we're going to go to dinner and pretty much end our night and recycle the whole week all over again back at work. Now, obviously, you guys saw in the previous video that we did some LED turn signals, and we did them in a very different way from the usual LED turn signal installation. First off, we had to make custom brackets. Second, we had to wire everything up together, and Mama Mouse had to make these special grill shells, which I'm going to show you guys right here, right now. So as you guys can see, these grill shells were made by Mama Mouse and myself, and what we did was we rolled them on a paint can. Now I'll give you guys a closer look at them, but as you can see, they have a little bit of the Lamborghini Oro Helios painted on them. Now Mama Mouse wanted them to fade to black a little bit on this side, and on this other side it's pretty much the same thing, which is what's really nice about this. But when we did this, we anticipated that, hey, we're not going to have turn signals. So how are we going to fix this problem? Now, we could have put the turn signals up here in the headlight assembly, but Mama Mouse didn't want to have to go through the wiring mess of actually wiring up the bulb into the headlight assembly. So what we did was, like you saw in the previous video, is add some LED rope lights. Now, they're going to look really amazing in the dark, and that's the reason why we're up here so late in the day, and it's pretty crisp. So it's definitely turbo weather here in Florida. But the nice part is the way these lights work. Now, right now I have them working through a remote control, and this remote control I have right here is how these lights turn on, how they change color, how they go through the multiple functions. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn them on right now, and there you go. So right here you can see kind of like a glow coming on Mouseball's cheeks, and the best part is that they strobe into a turn signal. Now, because they are LED, what we had to do was we had to actually put a resistor in line of the turn signal and ground it to the subframe. And once we grounded that and got the resistor put in, well, that took care of all of our problems with the actual turn signal light coming on in the dash. And right here, as you can see, it looks pretty awesome. I mean, could we have hidden it a little bit better? Yeah, probably, but honestly, I like how it looks. I think it looks really neat, and honestly, you kind of want these to appear somewhat, because, you know, if people see you out on the road, you want them to have an actual light that they can point to and say, oh, well, that's a turn signal, and it's not necessarily just some light or underglow behind it. Now, what we did do is we wired up the actual fog lamp switch, and we wired that up for a backlight that actually matches this whole setup, and it works off of one remote. So when the car's running and the fog lamp switch is put on, well, we have this whole thing pretty much lit up, and it's getting dark, which is allowing this to really show off. And that's what I really love about it, is that in the dark it looks absolutely amazing. See right here, we've got the different functions. Like right here, this is an actual breathe function that I really like a lot. I think this looks really awesome, but it also can do stack. It can do a whole bunch of neat things. Like right here, that's the multicolor. And let me go ahead and bring you guys in closer so you can see. But the light is literally off to the corner, so it is somewhat noticeable from down here, but not completely, which is really cool. And the neat part is I can change the light function right here on this remote to pretty much any color I like, including the amber for the turn signal. Now, the nice part is because we used that resistor and we got rid of the light on the dash, the only light we have left is the DRL light. Now, the DRL light is a little bit more complex. It has a low resistance positive and a high resistance positive. And because it has a dual filament bulb, well, what you have is you have a light that is very hard to get rid of, because with LED rope lights, they only have so many leads. So if there's no low resistance or low positive on this LED light, well, it's not going to work. You're still going to have that CAN bus light come on in the actual dash. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do some brake coolers right here behind the fog light holes. And what's really going to make this nice is we actually drilled into the velocity stack that's actually going to cool the brakes, and have a hose that's going to be routed directly to the brakes themselves. And we put the DRL light inside the velocity stack. So when you turn on the car, not only are you going to have this effect right here, but you'll also have the DRLs activated in the bottom of the bumper. Best part is it won't impede airflow. It'll allow the brakes to be cooled. It'll allow for airflow to flow through the bumper. You know, Mouseball still has working turn signals, and it doesn't stop the heat or the air from entering the car, which is the main thing that we wanted to accomplish with this thing. Was we wanted to make sure that this car had no problems with eliminating heat and getting airflow into the engine. Because a car that runs cooler, a car that doesn't have to deal with so much heat, lasts longer. And that's one of the reasons why we did this particular modification. Now, I'll come back to you guys with a walk around of this car in the dark, because it's getting very late, and soon Mama Mouse will give me that text to come and pick her up. And I cannot wait to pick her up with the car looking like this, because me and her have been really happy about the modifications on this car, and we can't wait to start upping the performance, because now we've got a lot of this thermal problems, these thermal problems finally fixed up to where Mouseball can run a bigger turbo, Mouseball can run a downpipe, Mouseball can run all of these modifications that are going to produce more heat, but it won't cause a major problem for the car. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and remember, when you're hanging out with the AttackMouse Nation, Mama Mouse and I will light up your life. Take it easy, guys. Mouseball out. the AttackMouse Nation and my salty gearheads. Welcome to Motoring with Mouseball. And guys, I'm making this special short video to show you what it's like to drive the Abarth in 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So the weather's pretty frigid down here in Florida for Floridians. So we don't necessarily get really cold weather. I'm pretty sure there's some of you guys who are subscribed to the AttackMouse Nation who see much worse than this. I mean, in the morning it was like 39 degrees, so I could say it was pretty cold outside. But there are people who live in the northern states like Chicago and Wisconsin and all these other places where they're like, that's bikini weather. But basically, with the new 595 spec bumper on the car, I wanted to basically do a couple of polls and let you know what it feels like, because now we have more air flowing through the front end. So those small little intercoolers are actually getting more air forced through them and creating a denser charge, which obviously when it was cold with the USDM bumper, well, I mean, you definitely felt Mouseball pull, but I mean, it's a big difference now. I mean, it's major. It's totally different than it ever has been before. So we're going to get to a part of the road where it's safe and where I won't get in trouble with the police, because obviously I don't want to do any pulls or anything, you know, in the realm of breaking the law and getting a ticket, or even for that matter getting the car impounded, which would create a situation that would have me put 6 feet deep with Mama Mouse. I mean, just, she would kill me if anything happened to this car. So we definitely don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to head in a couple of miles, probably not that long, and we're going to basically head to the gas station to fill Mouseball up and get some gas in Mouseball, and then, you know, I'll do a pull between here and the gas station for you guys. So I think you're really going to like it, and I'll get back to you in just a few. Okay guys, we're nearing the entrance ramp, and I'm gonna slow down enough to give myself some space so that way I can get a good acceleration run for you guys. So hopefully you'll notice a difference in how the turbo sounds, you know, because obviously it's going to be a lot louder due to the colder weather, and it's just going to be one hell of a ride, I can tell you that, because these cars love cold weather when they're turbocharged. So here we go. And already we got some major torque steer. And already I was up to 75 miles an hour in a hurry and had to slow right back down because traffic is merging. And even in third gear, a little bit of turbo lag, but pulls right back to speed. And it's amazing. The cold weather, the freezing temperatures, at least for Floridians, you know, really does it for this car. I mean, it picks up, and I mean, I can definitely feel the tires losing grip, and it's crazy how much of an effect denser, colder air has on these little cars. Because even though it's a 1.4 liter engine, you know, the turbocharger just takes that denser air, force feeds it into the engine, and produces a lot more power. And you know what? You don't have the problem with a check engine light because the computer is compensating for the extra fuel that it's going to need to put in with the denser air that's coming in. So it's not an issue. There's 20% on the table left, and that's the good part. So when temperatures get pretty cold, you know, this car definitely packs a wallop, and I love it. It's an amazing car. Always loved Mouseball. And when I get to Mama Mouse's house for dinner, we're gonna go right back out, and she's gonna drive. So we're gonna have a great time and put pretty much an end to our weekend, and it's back to work once again, to the daily grind, restoring vintage cars and doing the cycle all over again, which, trust me, it's living the dream, guys, and making videos for you is part of that dream. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and remember, when there's cold air, the turbochargers are there to take advantage of it. Take it easy, guys. Mouseball out.